During the sacred season, Christians celebrate the greatest miracle in human history. We are delivering millions of doses of a safe and effective vaccine. It is truly a Christmas miracle.
All spoken in the same breath, speaking about the birth of Jesus, and then talking about the miracle of the you-know-what. Now, I know the majority of Christians are falling for the deception thinking that he is a Christian. In reality, he actually worships Apollo and other Greek gods. Now, I'm going to unpack a lot in this video and we'll need to move quickly, but I want to remind you guys something, that demons can confess that Jesus is the Son of God, Matthew 8:29. And suddenly they, the demons, cried out saying, "What have we to do with you, Jesus, you Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time?" We also see in James 2:19, you believe that there is one God. You do well. Even the demons believe and tremble. Now, Judas is a prime example of an individual who acted like a Christian on the outward appearance, but inwardly he was the son of perdition. So please remember this whenever you hear this guy pander to Christians acting like he is one of you. When in reality he is a Luciferian who worships himself and wants to embody characteristics from pagan deities, which is why we saw his inauguration held inside, in the rotunda underneath the Apotheos of Washington. For those who do not know, the Apotheos of Washington depicts George Washington sitting among the heavens in an exalted manner, or in literary terms, ascending and becoming a god. That is the Apotheos. And you can also see right here how he is depicting the as above, so below hand symbolism, which again goes back to the occult and Freemasonry. As we know, George Washington was a Freemason first and then the first president. They are very proud of who they are. Where have I just seen this before? Oh yeah, this must just be a coincidence. Now let's go back to Trump and his obsession with Greek mythology and the god Apollo. So we can see right here in his New York apartment how he has several art pieces in tribute to Greek mythology. He has a statue of Eros and Psyche. He has some Greek vases, and then right here we can see a painting of Apollo led in his chariot by Aurora. Not to mention above his head right here is a giant mural of Apollo portrayed crossing the heavens. I'm not sure about you guys, but I would call that an obsession with Apollo. Now that we know that Trump is clearly obsessed with the Greek god Apollo, let's talk about what this Greek god is all about. So we can see right here, Apollo has been recognized as a god of archery, music and dance, truth and prophecy, healing and diseases, the sun and light, poetry, and more. He is also considered to be the most beautiful god, which reminds me of Ezekiel 28 about the anointed cherub who fell, who was made perfect in beauty. This is referring to Lucifer. As we can also see in Isaiah 14 how you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. And for those who do not know, Freemasonry is all about worshiping Lucifer. As we can see from the writings of Albert Pike, who was a master mason, as we can see from his book Morals and Dogma, the apocalypse is to those who receive the 9th degree, the Apotheos. Remember the Apotheos of Washington, it means to become a god. So we can see right here the Apotheos becoming a god of the sublime faith, which aspires to God alone and despises all the pomps and works of Lucifer. Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name to give to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, son of the morning, is it he who bears the light, and with its splendors, intolerable blinds feeble, sensual, or selfish souls? Doubt it not. For traditions are full of divine revelations and inspirations is not of one age or of one creed. We can also see from another master mason, Manly P. Hall, when the mason learns that the key to the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. The seething energies of Lucifer are in his hands, and before he may step onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly apply energy. He must follow in the footsteps of his forefather, Tubal-Cain, who is with the mighty strength of the war god hammered his sword into a plowshare. As you can see, Freemasonry is all about Luciferianism, you ascending to become your own god. And I wonder if it's just a coincidence that Donald Trump's spiritual mentor was a Freemason, Norman Vincent Peale. As we can see right here, Norman Vincent Peale was a 33rd degree Freemason in the Scottish Rite. Now remember, Albert Pike, who wrote Morals and Dogma, was also a 33rd degree Master Mason of the Scottish Rite. Now we can see a picture right here with Trump and Norman Vincent Peale. We can also see right here how Trump has repeatedly credited Peale with his accomplishments. As we can see the religious roots of Trump's magical thinking, and the teaching that Peale taught was the power of positive thinking and how to manifest. And as we know from the high-level occultist Marina Abramovic, as we can see right here with a picture of Jacob Rothschild in front of a painting of Lucifer summoning his demons, she has clearly stated how Trump is a master magician.
Actually, he's the magician who wakes us up. That he is the magician of the highest order, to create confusion in order that the human beings define new order. Because since Trump is around, things have changed.
And I guess it's just a coincidence that MAGA in Latin means witch. How Trump loves to talk about the witch hunt. Not to mention that in Spanish, the word MAGA also means magician or sorcerer, as well as in Italian, MAGA is sorcerer. While we also have the fifth and highest degree of the Church of Satan being MAGA. Now, something else to add to Trump's ties with the occult is that we have Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner who follow the Cabala. As we can see right here, Ivanka Trump is wearing the red scarlet string of the Cabala. Now, this red string of Cabala goes back to Jewish mysticism. That is what the Cabala is, but this whole red string is about warding off the evil eye. It's interesting to know how the Cabala and Freemasonry have a lot of connections to each other. So we can see here from the esoteric traditions of the craft, the connection between the Cabala and Freemasonry. Like Masonry, the Cabala has taught to those deemed worthy and hidden from those not worthy. It is presented in the form of allegory and symbols that must be carefully contemplated and interpreted to be understood. The Cabala is a system of Jewish mysticism divided into three branches, and we can see how the Cabala was an ancient wisdom teaching that inspired Freemasonry. To these individuals, it is all about secrecy and esoteric knowledge to be enlightened and to ascend to a godlike form. Now let's go back to Trump's obsession with Apollo and how he was the god of the sun and light. And this is why you are seeing Trump say stuff like this. There is a bright light over the USA and indeed the entire world. He is not talking about the light of Jesus Christ. He is talking about the false light of Apollo, which, as we know, Paul warned us in 2 Corinthians 11:14, and no wonder, for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. This is the false light agenda that we are witnessing unfold right in front of our eyes, to usher in the false light of the golden age, which again goes back to Greek mythology. Now, this is where things get really crazy, and I need to hurry up for time's sake, but Apollo is the oracular god. His oracles were often consulted for guidance in various matters. Now, an oracle is a person such as a priestess of ancient Greece through whom a deity is believed to speak, or a shrine in which a deity reveals hidden knowledge or the divine purpose through such a person. So what a coincidence that we have Trump's new Stargate project who has Oracle as a partner. And this is all about aiming to transform healthcare. Remember this right here. Because as we can see right here, medicine and healing are also associated with Apollo. This is when it gets wild. Apollo delivered people from epidemics, yet he's also a god who could bring ill health and deadly plague with his arrows. With his arrows, you don't say. No wonder why he calls himself the father of the you-know-what. And also why he had a 3-hour conversation with Bill Gates about this right here.
In the COVID days, accelerated the vaccine innovation. So I was asking him if maybe the same kind of thing could be done here, and we both got, I think, pretty excited.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are both very excited about this whole situation right here, where we have Stargate, which is a portal to a different dimension, connecting artificial intelligence with your DNA. What could go wrong? I mean, look who else is all on board with this and how it is basically digital medicine with incredible potential. Please notice that term, digital medicine, because they are trying to bring in the bio-digital convergence, which will be the ultimate form of Luciferianism, the transhumanist agenda mixing man with machine, ascending into the next step of human evolution and reaching immortality through technology. This is the ultimate goal of Mr. Golden Dawn, who worships Apollo, which in reality he will be Apollyon, the king over the bottomless pit. And this is why we see the individuals who take the mark of the beast, who are promised immortality, will in those days seek death but will not find it. They will desire to die and death will flee from them. So please do not be deceived thinking this guy's a Christian. Because to these individuals, they have the belief in duality, that out in the open they act like they are a Christian, but behind closed doors they actually worship Lucifer. And this is why you will see this type of symbolism everywhere. It is the as above, so below black and white duality. As we can see from this Seal of Solomon, how it goes back and represents the ancients of Cabala, how it is the God of light and the God of reflections, mercy and vengeance, the white Jehovah and the black Jehovah. Once again, the as above, so below. And this is also why we see the obelisk in the background, which is associated with the occult, and it's in front of the Lincoln Memorial, so you get the reflection off the water, the as above, so below. And I guess it's just a coincidence that it is 6,660 inches tall. That was the best I could do to fit this all in 10 minutes. I had to leave a lot out, and I'm sorry if this seems scatterbrained. I hope you can connect the dots. It's tough to fit this all in 10 minutes, but with that being said, guys, please continue to focus your eyes upon the Lord, trusting in Him, for He is the author and the perfecter of your faith, realizing that we do not wrestle with flesh and blood, but against principalities in the heavenly realm. There is a legitimate spiritual war going on with spiritual principalities trying to deceive us, and we need to be on guard and we need to know what the enemy is doing. But the only way we could do that is by leaning upon the Lord for all understanding and wisdom. So with that, guys, I love you all so much. God bless, and remember, the just shall live by faith.